Tomorrow, 31st of March, it will be 40 years since the great leader, Comrade Kim Jong-il, published his classic thesis on the Juche idea. The work was actually a paper that was sent to the national seminar organized in the Democratic People's Republic of Korea to mark the 70th anniversary of the birth of the great leader, President Kim Il-sung. As is very well known, and I'm sure known to everyone here, Juche is the guiding ideology of the DPRK. All the achievements of the DPRK are associated with the application of the Juche idea. The 1972 edition of the Socialist Constitution of the DPRK, Article number 4, stipulated that the DPRK was guided by the Juche idea in all its activities. The Juche idea was first authored by President Kim Il-sung and outlined in sort of embryonic form in his famous speech on the path of the Korean Revolution, which was made in 1930 to young Korean revolutionaries. Later, in 1955, President Kim Il-sung made the historic speech on eliminating dogmatism and formalism and establishing Juche in ideological work. In various talks with journalists from Japan and other works in the early 70s, President Kim Il-sung explained the Juche idea. In 1974, the program on modeling the whole society on the Juche idea was put forward. However, the Juche idea had not yet been presented in a systematic and in-depth manner. This became an important question of the day, in fact, a vital need. In April 1974, Comrade Kim Jong-il published a work on some questions in understanding the Juche philosophy. By publishing on the Juche idea in 1982, Comrade Kim Jong-il answered the need for the Juche idea to be systematized and developed in depth. On the Juche idea was the summation of many years of intense research and study by Comrade Kim Jong-il, who had began working at the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea in June 1964 and was elected Secretary of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea in September 1973. The work on the Juche idea is indeed a magnum opus. It is the definitive work on the Juche idea. The work is divided into 5 chapters, which are as follows. Number 1, origin of the Juche idea. Number 2, philosophical principles of the Juche idea. Number 3, socio-historical principles of the Juche idea. Number 4, guiding principles of the Juche idea. Number 5, historical significance. And I think it best, rather than to give a very detailed summary of the work, which would take a long time, I will confine myself to just a few remarks about why this is a very important work and the validity of this work. And, I think the purpose of this meeting is, to actually encourage people to actually go and read on the Juche idea for themselves and study it. I was myself particularly impressed by the section on the socio-historical principles of the Juche idea. And of course, my original degree was in history and historiography. So that's perhaps why it attracted, that part of the work attracted me. Previously, Marxism-Leninism had talked about the historically progressive nature of capitalism, and it saw it from just one side, i.e. the development of the productive forces. And as we all know, undoubtedly, with the Industrial Revolution in countries like the UK, there was a massive development of the productive forces, and that was an important historical phenomenon or achievement. However, Comrade Kim Jong-il pointed out as follows: the history of human society is the history of the struggle of the popular masses to defend and realize independence. The leader said that all revolutionary struggles are struggles of the popular masses to defend their independence. End of quote. Referring to the change from feudalism to capitalism, Comrade Kim Jong-il says, but that was only the replacement of the chains of slavery with feudal fetters, which in turn were replaced by the yoke of capital, not the abolition of class domination and oppression itself. In the history of human society, capitalism is the last exploiting system which tramples upon the masses' aspirations and demands for independence. It is a violently oppressive system which combines class domination with national oppression. End of quotation. Now, I think the above passage is a very incisive critique of capitalism and an excellent analysis of the nature of modern capitalism, which actually, combines different kinds of oppression. And to put things in very simple and basic terms, the work on the Juche idea is about the role of the human factor as opposed to the material economic factor. On the Juche idea postulates that the popular masses, such as workers and peasants, are the subject of history rather than the object of history. As Comrade Kim Jong-il said, the Juche idea defined man as the master who dominates the world, not merely part of it, and thus established a new world outlook, which, unlike preceding ones, regards the world and its changes and progress with man, its master, at the center. At the Juche viewpoint and stand on the world with man in the central place provide a sure guarantee for the independent and creative cognitional activities and practice of man who transforms the world and shapes his destiny. And I think this really defines the Juche idea. Reading on the Juche idea, I became convinced that the Juche idea is not simply Marxism-Leninism applied to Korea, as some people say. As Comrade Kim Jong-il himself states in the work, in his early years of revolutionary activities, the leader was well versed in Marxism-Leninism, but he did not confine himself to applying Marxism-Leninism to the Korean Revolution, but pioneered a new phase of revolutionary theory from a steadfast Juche-based standpoint and resolved the problems arising in the revolutionary practice from a unique angle. This is indeed true. The Juche idea represents a new stage in the ideological development of the working class. The Juche idea is a great revolutionary theory, and not just for Korea alone. To quote Comrade Kim Jong-il again, by clearly showing how to stage a revolution in an independent and creative manner, the Juche idea has enabled the people of each country to have a strong sense of responsibility as the masters of the revolution, ridding themselves of the fetters of all outdated thoughts, hampering independent progress, and it has also helped them to work out a policy which is suitable to the actual conditions in their country, working according to their own beliefs and views, and to exploit their creativeness to push ahead with the revolution. The opening up of the way to stage a revolution in an independent, creative manner has encouraged the people in different countries, in different conditions of history, and at different stages of development to carry on, confident of victory, the vigorous struggle to achieve national liberation and class emancipation and build socialism and communism. Comrade Kim Jong-il very strongly stressed the role of ideology both in the revolutionary struggle and the work of socialist construction. He wrote that the will and fighting power of people demonstrated in the revolutionary movement are also determined by their ideological consciousness. The level of willpower and strength demonstrated by the people is determined by their ideology. Only those who have a firm consciousness of independence will be able to take an indomitable attitude towards the revolution, actively participate in it with strong will, and struggle to the end, overcoming all difficulties and trials. This teaching is like a secret weapon for revolutionaries. Society will not change of its own accord. No matter how many people are unemployed and homeless, if the working class is not equipped with socialist ideology and class consciousness, and worse still, their heads are full of capitalist ideology, such as individualism and consumerism, then there will be no revolution. It's as simple as that. Similarly, even in a socialist country, people do not have the consciousness that they are masters of society, and worse still, lack any faith in the superiority of socialism, then people will not work properly, and there will be losses in socialist construction and the eventual collapse of socialism. This has been proved in practice by the traumatic events from 1989 to 1991. After its publication in 1982, On the Juche Idea was translated into many different languages, and seminars were held in 144 different countries in the world. People hailed it as a new communist manifesto. A number of books, such as the Immortal Juche Idea by Kim Chang-hwa, were written to explain the Juche idea in depth. On the Juche Idea is a powerful work that cuts through dogmatism, revisionism, and the idea of relying on big powers. I strongly recommend everybody to read it and reread it. Lastly, I would not only recommend reading on the Juche Idea, but the excellent books written by DPRK social scientists, such as The Immortal Juche Idea by Kim Chang-hwa, The Origination and Historical Significance of the Juche Idea by Kang Eun-bin, and The Philosophical Significance of the Juche Idea by Lee Sung-jun. And you can also find very easily online Man's Destiny in the Juche Idea, and the little booklet, 100 questions and answers on the Juche Idea. So in conclusion, I say to everybody, please study the work on the Juche Idea, and long live the Juche Idea, long live people's career. Thank you for listening.